Deep in the
The
Nevada
untold
desert
story of Area
lies a
51.
place shielded by
The untold
absolute
story of
secrecy,
Area 51.
where the line between
What if I
myth
told you there's a place in
becomes
America so
blurred.
secret that even for years, the U.S. government refused to admit it existed? A place surrounded by warning signs, armed guards, motion sensors, and miles of empty desert. A place where people have reported seeing strange lights in the sky, mysterious aircraft unlike anything ever built, and even rumors of alien technology hidden behind locked doors. This place is called Area 51. For decades, it has become one of the biggest mysteries in the world. Some people believe it's where the U.S. military develops secret aircraft. Others are convinced that crashed UFOs and alien bodies are hidden inside its underground facilities. Countless books, documentaries, and movies have tried to uncover the truth, but even today, many questions remain unanswered. So what is really happening inside Area 51? Is it simply a highly classified military base? Or is there something far more mysterious that governments don't want the public to know? To understand the story, we have to go back more than 70 years. The year was 1955. The Cold War had created fear across the world. The United States and the Soviet Union were competing for military power, intelligence, and technology. Every day brought new threats, and American leaders knew they needed information about their biggest rival. At that time, satellite technology did not exist the way it does today. The only reliable way to gather intelligence was to fly high above enemy territory and take photographs. But there was one major problem. If American aircraft were detected over Soviet airspace, they could be shot down, creating an international crisis. The U.S. government needed an aircraft that could fly higher than any existing airplane. The Central Intelligence Agency secretly partnered with Lockheed Corporation to build such an aircraft. Engineers worked day and night on a project unlike anything before it. The airplane would later become known as the U-2 spy plane. Now they needed a place where nobody could see it. Somewhere isolated. Somewhere protected. Somewhere hidden from the public. Officials searched across the American Southwest before discovering a remote location in southern Nevada. It was surrounded by mountains. Hundreds of square miles of empty desert stretched in every direction. Nearby was a large dry lakebed called Groom Lake, providing a perfect natural runway. The location was so isolated that very few people ever traveled anywhere near it. Construction began almost immediately. Workers built runways, hangars, living quarters, fuel storage, communication systems, and testing facilities. Everything happened under extreme secrecy. Employees were told almost nothing outside their own assignments. Many didn't even know the full purpose of the project. Even family members weren't allowed to ask questions. The location soon received a simple internal name: Area 51. At first, it wasn't designed to study aliens or flying saucers. Its primary mission was developing and testing highly classified military aircraft. The first U-2 flights began from this secret base. The aircraft flew higher than 60,000 feet, far above normal commercial airplanes. Pilots completed dangerous intelligence missions over Soviet territory, gathering photographs that changed military planning during the Cold War. The project remained completely hidden from the public, but secrecy often creates curiosity. During the late 1950s, something unexpected started happening. People living hundreds of miles away began reporting strange objects flying across the sky. The aircraft moved faster than anything they had ever seen. Sometimes they appeared almost silent. Sometimes they reflected sunlight in unusual ways. Witnesses contacted local newspapers. Some called nearby military bases. Others contacted the FBI. Many believed they had seen flying saucers. What they were actually seeing in many cases were secret military aircraft flying at altitudes never seen before. The government couldn't explain what people had witnessed. Doing so would expose one of America's most important intelligence programs. Instead, officials often remained silent. That silence only made the mystery grow larger. As the years passed, Area 51 became home to even more advanced aircraft. The A-12 reconnaissance aircraft arrived during the 1960s. Later came stealth technology that eventually led to aircraft like the F-117 Nighthawk. Many of these planes look completely different from traditional airplanes. Sharp angles, unusual shapes, dark colors. silent movements. To ordinary people watching from below, they didn't look human-made at all. Each new project created another wave of rumors. The stories became more unbelievable every year. Some claimed engineers had discovered technology that couldn't have come from Earth. Others believed the military had recovered crashed spacecraft and was secretly reverse engineering alien vehicles. There was no shortage of theories. Then, in the late 1980s, one man stepped forward with a story that would completely change how the world viewed Area 51. His name was Bob Lazar. And according to him, he hadn't just worked near Area 51. He claimed he had worked on alien spacecraft themselves. For years, almost nobody outside a small circle of government officials had ever heard the name Bob Lazar. But in 1989, everything changed. During an anonymous television interview in Las Vegas, a man appeared with his face hidden and his voice disguised. He claimed he had worked at a secret facility called S4, located just south of Area 51 near Papoose Lake. According to Lazar, Area 51 wasn't the real secret. The real mystery was hidden several miles away. He said the government had brought him there to help reverse engineer technology that wasn't made by humans. His job, he claimed, was to study the propulsion system of a flying craft unlike anything ever built on Earth. The story immediately captured national attention. A few months later, Lazar revealed his identity publicly. He repeated every claim without hesitation. According to him, the craft he examined looked completely different from modern aircraft. There were no visible engines, no fuel tanks, no wings. The inside was surprisingly small, with seats that appeared too tiny for an average adult. He even claimed the control panels contained symbols, unlike any known language. But the most extraordinary part of his story involved the way the craft supposedly moved. Lazar claimed it didn't fly using jet engines or rockets. Instead, he said it generated its own gravitational field. According to his explanation, the craft bent space itself rather than pushing through the air. It sounded more like science fiction than science. He also introduced the world to a mysterious material called Element 115. Lazar claimed this element powered the alien spacecraft by producing an enormous amount of energy through a process unknown to modern physics. At the time, Element 115 had never been officially discovered. Supporters quickly pointed to this as proof that Lazar possessed secret knowledge. If he was lying, they asked, how could he know about an element that scientists hadn't yet confirmed? Skeptics, however, had a different answer. They explained that scientists had long predicted additional elements beyond those already discovered on the periodic table. The number 115 wasn't impossible to imagine. Years later, researchers successfully created element 115 in a laboratory. But the version they produced was extremely unstable. It existed for only a fraction of a second before breaking apart. There was no evidence that it could generate unlimited energy or power flying vehicles. Still, for many believers, Lazar's story remained convincing. His detailed descriptions, calm personality, and willingness to repeat the same claims year after year made him different from many other conspiracy theorists. People began asking an important question. Could any part of his story be verified? Journalists immediately started investigating his background. This is where things became even more confusing. Lazar claimed he had studied at both the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the California Institute of Technology. But investigators couldn't find records confirming his attendance. Neither university listed him as a graduate. Former classmates couldn't remember him. Some reporters concluded he had invented his education. Lazar responded by saying the government had erased his records to destroy his credibility. The debate continues even today. His employment history raised similar questions. He claimed he worked for a contractor connected to classified government projects. Some records showed he had worked at facilities associated with advanced research. Other records appeared incomplete or missing. Supporters argued that classified work often leaves very little public documentation. Critics believed the missing information actually weakened his story. The mystery only grew larger. Then something happened that pushed Area 51 even deeper into public fascination. Groups of curious people began driving into the Nevada desert, hoping to witness strange aircraft themselves. One location became especially popular, a mountain ridge overlooking Groom Lake. From there, visitors could sometimes see unusual lights moving across the sky during nighttime testing. Many believed they were watching alien spacecraft. Others believed they were simply observing classified military aircraft. No one outside the base knew for certain. The military responded by increasing security. New warning signs appeared. More surveillance equipment was installed. Additional patrols monitored the surrounding desert. The signs carried clear warnings. Photography beyond certain points was prohibited. Unauthorized entry could lead to arrest or deadly force. Unlike most military bases, there were no visible guards standing at the gates. Instead, people reported seeing white pickup trucks watching from nearby hills. These mysterious security officers became known as the Camo Dudes. Dressed in camouflage uniforms, they quietly observed anyone approaching restricted areas. If visitors crossed the warning line, officers quickly appeared and ordered them to leave. Many people claimed they never even saw where the guards came from. The base itself remained hidden behind mountains and restricted airspace. Commercial pilots were forbidden from flying overhead. Civilian aircraft avoided the region completely. Even satellite images showed very little detail for many years. The secrecy surrounding Area 51 became almost as famous as the base itself. Movies began using it as the home of captured aliens. Television shows portrayed it as the center of secret government experiments. Video games built entire stories around its underground tunnels. Before long, Area 51 had become one of the most recognizable secret locations on Earth. But behind all the rumors, one question still remained unanswered. If there were no aliens hidden inside, then why did the U.S. government refuse to even admit the base existed for so many decades? That answer would finally begin to emerge after decades of official silence, when newly released government documents started revealing a very different side of the story. For decades, the United States government followed the same strategy whenever questions about Area 51 appeared. They simply refused to answer. Officials avoided interviews. Military spokespeople declined to comment. Government agencies neither confirmed nor denied the base's existence. That silence became one of the biggest reasons so many conspiracy theories survived. People often assumed that if there was nothing unusual happening, why keep everything secret? The truth, however, was more complicated. Area 51 was home to some of the most advanced military technology ever created. During the Cold War, revealing even small details about these projects could have given America's enemies valuable information. Every runway, every hangar, every test flight, every new aircraft, everything was considered classified. Still, pressure continued to grow. Former employees began speaking publicly. Historians requested government records. Journalists filed legal requests asking for information. Year after year, more people demanded answers. Then something unexpected happened. In 2013, after decades of speculation, the Central Intelligence Agency released a collection of declassified documents. Buried inside hundreds of pages was something many people thought they would never see. For the first time in history, the CIA officially acknowledged the existence of Area 51. The documents explained that the facility had been created during the 1950s to support the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft program. Later, it became the testing ground for several other highly classified aircraft, including the A-12 Oxcart. To many historians, this was a major moment. After years of complete secrecy, the government had finally admitted that Area 51 was real. But the newly released files created another debate. While they confirmed the existence of the base, they revealed very little about what happens there today. Large portions of the documents remained blacked out. Many pages were heavily edited before release. Entire sections had been removed. For conspiracy theorists, that was enough to keep the mystery alive. If they're still hiding information, many people ask, what exactly are they protecting? Some believed the missing pages contained proof of recovered UFOs. Others argued the hidden material simply involved modern military technology that remains classified today. Neither side could prove its claims. Meanwhile, reports of strange objects in the sky continued. Pilots, tourists, local residents. Even experienced military personnel occasionally described unusual lights or aircraft moving in unexpected ways. Some reports were eventually explained. Others were never fully identified. This raised another important question. Could people near Area 51 actually be seeing experimental aircraft that the public still doesn't know about? History suggests the answer is yes. Many technologies that seem ordinary today were once top secret military projects. The stealth fighter, the stealth bomber, advanced reconnaissance drones. Even early satellite programs remained hidden for years before becoming public. When these aircraft were first tested, almost nobody outside a small group of engineers knew they existed. To anyone watching from a distance, they appeared impossible. Fast, silent, unlike any airplane people had ever seen. Exactly the kind of descriptions often connected to UFO sightings. Former military officials have even admitted that some UFO reports during the Cold War were actually secret American aircraft. Instead of correcting the public, officials often allowed the rumors to spread. In some cases, believing people had seen aliens was considered less dangerous than revealing advanced military technology. It was an unusual strategy. But during the Cold War, protecting national security was often viewed as more important than correcting public speculation. That doesn't mean every unexplained sighting has been solved. Far from it. In recent years, the U.S. military itself has released videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena, often called UAPs. These videos sparked worldwide attention. Officials admitted they could not immediately explain what appeared in the recordings. However, they also made an important point. Unidentified does not automatically mean alien. It simply means investigators do not yet know what the object is. It could be advanced technology, a natural phenomenon, a sensor error, or something else entirely. Area 51 often becomes connected to these discussions because of its long history of secrecy. Whenever a new mystery appears in the sky, many people naturally think about the famous Nevada base. The internet has only amplified these stories. Thousands of videos claim to show hidden entrances, underground tunnels, alien spacecraft, secret laboratories. Some are carefully edited. Others rely entirely on anonymous sources. Very few provide verifiable evidence. Yet millions of people continue watching. The mystery has become larger than the facts themselves. Area 51 is no longer just a military installation. It has become a symbol, a place where imagination meets secrecy, where real classified history blends with decades of rumors, where confirmed government projects exist alongside stories that may never be proven. And perhaps the most surprising chapter of all was still waiting to happen. In 2019, an online joke turned into one of the biggest internet events in history, bringing Area 51 back into headlines around the world in a way nobody could have predicted. In June 2019, a simple joke appeared on Facebook. Someone created an event called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of Oost. The idea was never meant to be taken seriously. The description joked that if thousands of people ran toward the base at the same time, the military wouldn't be able to stop everyone. Within days, the event exploded across the internet. Hundreds of thousands of people clicked, interested. Then millions did. Memes flooded social media. Videos imagined people outrunning soldiers. Artists created cartoons. Content creators uploaded countless theories. What started as a joke quickly became a worldwide internet phenomenon. Soon, the U.S. Air Force noticed. Officials released a public statement reminding people that Area 51 is an active military installation. They warned that anyone attempting to enter the restricted area could face arrest or serious consequences. Despite the warnings, thousands of curious visitors traveled to the small Nevada towns near the base. Hotels filled up. Restaurants became crowded. Local businesses suddenly found themselves welcoming visitors from around the world. Some expected chaos. Instead, the event turned into something completely different. People dressed in alien costumes. Music played throughout the desert. Food trucks arrived. Local festivals were organized. Families took pictures beside alien crossing signs. Rather than a dangerous confrontation, it became a celebration of one of America's biggest mysteries. Only a handful of people actually crossed into restricted areas, and they were quickly stopped by security. The base itself remained exactly as it always had. Hidden, protected, silent. The event proved something interesting. Area 51 had become much more than a military facility. It had become part of modern culture. Today, nearly everyone has heard its name. It appears in movies, television shows, novels, documentaries, podcasts, and video games. For many people, it represents the ultimate unanswered question. But after looking at the facts, what can we actually say with confidence? We know Area 51 exists. The US government has officially confirmed that. We know it was used to test some of the world's most advanced military aircraft. History has shown that many technologies first developed there remained secret for years before becoming public. That much is supported by official records. But what about aliens? Recovered UFOs, underground cities, reverse-engineered spacecraft? Despite decades of rumors, no publicly available evidence has ever confirmed those extraordinary claims. That doesn't mean every mystery has been solved. Many activities inside Area 51 remain classified. The military continues to protect the facility with extraordinary security. New aircraft are almost certainly tested there. Exactly what those projects involve is known only to a very small number of people, and that secrecy naturally leaves room for speculation. Throughout history, humans have always been fascinated by the unknown. When information is limited, imagination often fills the gaps. Sometimes those ideas turn into legends. Sometimes they become conspiracy theories. And occasionally, years later, parts of those stories turn out to contain a small piece of truth. Area 51 sits exactly at that crossroads. It is a real military base surrounded by decades of genuine secrecy. That reality makes even the wildest stories seem possible to some people. Perhaps one day, more classified documents will be released. Maybe future generations will learn about aircraft that are still hidden today. Or perhaps history will reveal discoveries no one currently expects. Until then, the mystery remains alive. Not because we know what's inside, but because we don't. And maybe that's the real reason Area 51 continues to capture the world's imagination. Sometimes the greatest mystery isn't what we can prove, it's what we still can't explain. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy exploring history, hidden secrets, and the world's greatest mysteries through fact-based storytelling, be sure to subscribe for more videos. There are many incredible stories still waiting to be uncovered, and the next one might be even more surprising than Area 51 itself.